right, there we go. Hey everyone, Richard Carlton here. Welcome to another great day of FileMaker training at fmtraining.tv. I'm the creator of fmtraining.tv, where you can learn all about the FileMaker platform and learn how to build better FileMaker applications for you, your customers, your organization. This broadcast is completely free to everyone and is being broadcast in high definition to Discord, YouTube, and to Twitch. This broadcast is being recorded, which is really great. Of course, we might clean up the recording a little bit, so if we make a malfunction during the live stream, then of course we reserve the right to clean that up on the recording later on. However, because it's a live broadcast, we encourage you to ask questions. In fact, some people get aggravated when there's this dialogue with you and we ask questions. We want questions. If you have a question, odds are other people have the question too. And so I want to thank everyone for logging in, Ken and TK and Dave One, Dave Learning, Ed, Elzo, Carol, Jake, Mike, all of you, welcome once again to another great broadcast. Now, as a reminder, if you want to check out the upcoming broadcast, go to fmtraining.tv, press the left tab for the live button. You can see the upcoming broadcast schedule. That's pretty awesome. Additionally, if you want to help support this channel, right? We always say this, this broadcast is brought to you by fmtraining.tv, bringing you the greatest and the most entertaining FileMaker training videos available. So the idea is that if you want to help support the channel, make sure you check out our on-demand video bundles. We have videos that cover the latest version of FileMaker. We have videos that cover the deploy course. In fact, we used to sell the courses individually. Anymore, it's just much simpler to sell a complete bundle for a low price. We do this on an annual basis. So if you buy one of the bundles, that really helps support the channel. It ensures that we can keep coming back every day because this broadcast actually takes a lot of money to run. The people here don't work for free. Welcome to another day of awesome FileMaker-ish, FileMakerisms. How about that? We're just doing FileMaker stuff, having a lot of fun today. It's going to be awesome. We had to bring Nick back. So her royal mother, Nick here, she's helping the needy in the hospitals and servicing their every FileMaker need and trying to give them comfort in a time of crisis, right? Is that you, Nick? So, yeah, let me hit the button here and find Nick. There's Nick. There he is. All right, welcome, Nick, everyone. Welcome to Friday. It's fmtrain.tv. I'm Richard Carlton, creator of fmtrain.tv, where we every day put on a live stream where we're educating you about the FileMaker platform. The FileMaker platform is truly awesome. It's really great. I know sometimes we get wrapped around the axle about things in it that we wish were better or things that were handled differently, and we tend to be whiny and complainy, but we are here because the platform is really quite extraordinary, and it has a huge community that follows it, that buys it, that supports it, and of course it's run by this team of people who have relocated to Apple, so they're really, at the end of the day, it's Apple. So, Nick, you're here, so today is kind of an open line Friday kind of reference there for those of you who know what that is. It's Open Friday. You get to ask the questions. We will take any questions that come up. Want to welcome everyone. So we've been collecting some questions by some people. We have a question from Ken Tooley. We're going to take that as question number 2. If you have other questions you want to throw at us, we don't really have a specific agenda like today. We're going to teach you about blah, right? Larry has been very persistent. Larry, one of our moderators, Marine Corps Larry. So when he's not chewing on red crayons, he is asking us questions, and really the questions are good, right? And so he's been very persistent. The thing was, he asked a question, Nick kind of went off to work on project work, and I wanted Nick to handle this when he got back. So today is a good day to kind of handle that. So Nick, we want to jump into, I guess we should share your screen. Is your screen ready to be shared? We didn't test that. Hopefully it works.
It always worked so far. So
you got a pretty good resolution set. All right, let me make it big here. That doesn't look too bad. So yeah, so what are we talking about? So Larry said, you want to kind of do the demo here with the found set and kind of show this. So we're talking about this thing over here. Yeah. So
yeah, we're talking about this. So the goal was to replicate what this is doing. Because this is the pi, the record pi, we call that. So what this is doing, let's say you have a found set, let's say, see, as you remove, so you have a 75 record out of 100 showing. So you don't have the entire. This is represent the 100 records, and you have showing 75. So you have a visual representation that you're showing like less, 2/3 to the three quarter. If you show even less, you see the pie is getting smaller and smaller. Okay, so the goal was to replicate this, and when you click here, you reverse the font set. You show the omit one. So here now I'm showing 34 out of 100, and here now I'm showing the 66 out of 100. The other.
A lot of people. I didn't know that for 10 years using FileMaker. Like 10 years into it, I went, oh, you can like click the thing and it'll flip the font set. Yeah. So I had no idea. So
it's very cool.
Yeah.
That's a good way to work on this. Let's say, you are at the end and you want to, most of the time you want to remove the 2 or 3 records you just created. So you omit them, Command T or Alt T, you omit them, then they're omitted, then you click and you show what you just omitted, and you can say delete all. So I'm using that most of the time for that reason. You can omit the one you don't want, then show what you omitted and delete all what you omit. Because the Command E, each time you have to say yes, 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 when you want to delete, let's say you want to delete 10 records. So you omit them, and then you show omitted, and then you delete the omitted one. Okay, so this is how I'm using it. So
I want to say up front, though, that as a general rule, we don't want people deleting records out of their database if it's a serious database with serious data, because normally that can cause problems, right? You always want to have those records. But I'm just saying, okay, we want to caution people. Delete.
Yeah, no, true. I mean, when you know what you do, so you have to delete records. When you, especially when you're testing things and stuff like that, you have crap and you have junk.
Yep.
You want to remove.
Yep. All
right. So the goal was to replicate this. So my instinct always as a FileMaker developer is to use the FileMaker built-in technology, right? So and we have a FileMaker built-in technology to do that, and it's the pie chart. We have the pie chart here. Here. So you can draw this, and then you have the chart, the building chart from FileMaker, and we can say, okay, I want a pie, right? And then you have so you want to use this, okay? You want to use kind of thing like this, and you can see you want something that looks like the FileMaker pie here, which is the blue, the FileMaker blue stuff they have here. They have a blue. Okay, so this is the one that look like the closest. And then what you do, so this is pretty much what I've done here. So let's duplicate this and dissect this. Okay, so this is what I've done here. So you have this, and so you have the charts, and you have so this is a chart that is inside this. Okay, so this is the chart I create. Okay, so it's a pie. See, it's a pie like this, right? And so it's doing exactly what I want the thing to do. So I have this, right? And if I start omitting things, I start omit things like this, and the pie is doing the job. Is doing exactly what this is doing here, right? So I don't know if you guys can see if I'm zooming here, but
well, Discord can't see the zoom, but the other people on YouTube and Twitch can see the zoom. So yeah, we see.
Yeah, so you see the thing here, and you see that this is doing exactly what I want him to do. So what this is super simple calculation, and so you do this on saying that you want it's a calculation here, and you want the list, the total account and the get fund counts. This is a label for the label, because you need a label here, and then you slice the data with this, the fund count, and this, you do a calculation like that, the get fund count minus the target record count, the total record count, sorry. So it's whichever you withdraw the amount of omitted from, so it's kind of a small calculation here. and the data source is the current records delimited. Okay, so I'm not going to explain how this works, but so this is the pie. Okay, and then what I want this effect here showing the pie, but I don't want the center to be shown, right? So so far we're using this trick here, putting kind of a circle on top of the chart, right? So it was kind of a trick.
All right, I'm waiting for someone to say what this is. What is this?
It's a hack.
Okay, never mind. I was waiting for that. It's a hack.
It's more than a hack, okay? But so far, it was this or this way or the highway, okay? It was, so we didn't have another choice, okay? And my tendency is to use this. It's even more a hack, and that's why I said I am going to use this pie chart, the donut stuff,
Well, no,
because
just so you know, no one knows what that is, right? I mean, they've never seen that file before. So
yeah, I'm going to show that. So here what we have. Okay, this is why I like to talk about this, because this is to explain. This is to put some boundaries and to establish some rules. I don't like to talk that. I don't like to call them laws, but they are rules we can establish here. We have the opportunity of doing this. When to use JavaScript components and when not to do it. Okay. So obviously, so far until the JavaScript got more, until the last year or two, let's say. Okay. This is how you have to deal with this. You have this. You have this object here, and you need to put that on top of it. And then you have to deal with the size. The prime of the chart is the size. You can't. The chart here, you see, the object still very big here, and there's no way to remove the space here. No way to remove the space here. Okay, when you do a small stuff like this, okay, you can't remove the object size is this size. You have all this blank. No way to remove that. So, how to make pop? Because it's impossible to put it there. It's impossible to. You can push there, right? So there's another hack that I was using so far, and I'm going to stop using this. Right? Is to use unique panels slide control. Okay, so you have a slide control with one panel. Okay, see, you put so this is a slide control. You put the what's the name, the pie chart inside the slide control, right? The slide control is smaller, and then you can play with this inside the slide control. And then, so this is more than a hack, it's a super hack. I mean, it's, look, so far it was, it was this, I know the way to do this. Let me move this a little bit, because otherwise it will keep doing this. So you were grouping this, and now you have an object much smaller,
right?
Because but this is more than a hack. This was terrible, and I'm the first telling this, but so far it was the only way we had to do that, right?
Yep.
So now, this was the past, and now we have the opportunity to use these kind of objects. Okay, they're doing exactly the same thing, so they work the same way. They tend to do the flicker, they do some flickering here, which this is not doing. See, you have advantages and inconvenience. That means each time you're going to do this, you're going to the next record, you're going to flicker, right?
Yeah.
So, and here, it's smooth and nice. Okay, so when you click here, there's no flickering, right? And when you omit, there's no flickering. It's smooth and nice. Here, it will flicker like this. Okay, So what do you want to do? You want to use the hack, or you want to use the sample, the JavaScript? But the JavaScript C is not 100% super clean. Right. You still have inconvenience, right? So it's up to you. But here my opinion on this. I'm going to implement both, so then you can, because who cares if that flickers, I mean, it's not very, especially if it's small like this, even smaller, it won't be a big problem if it flickers. I mean,
yeah. So
I don't know if we can,
yeah. I don't know if it can be made small enough. Well, there it goes right there. So the question is, and can you make the border like borderless, right, around it, right? Can you make it?
Yeah, you can. You have all the control here. First of all, the border. This is the body of the object. So you can remove the border, and then you have all the coordinates of this.
Yep.
What's the name? The colors and all the things you see. The background color. You can say, you can put. I think if I put FFFF. Let me double check here before I do a stupid thing. If we do whites, I think it's FFF. Yes. Yeah, so if you do transparency, I don't know if how transparent will be, but we can do this here.
Yeah, the web viewers are not transparent ever, so the only way is to just paint them over.
Yeah. So you can do a white color here
on top of that.
So now it's white color. See?
Yeah. So now it looks pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I want to implement that with my background that is gray, I just need to put the same gray on the background of this, right?
Yep.
So and then if you want to change the color to the blue, for example, the blue I'm using here. Let's say you want the blue here. So you want this blue. You copy the blue color here, and then you paste here for the blue. I don't know where the blue color will be.
Background or the color of the dome? I don't see it. Where is it?
I don't see me either.
Is it over here? Wait, so I can't see there. Is it over there?
Oh. Yeah.
There it is.
Here it will transparent stroke.
It's probably this. It's one of those. Either the stroke or the trans. Yeah, so it's one of those.
Okay, let's put this here. Oh,
that's the other color, right? Yep. So.
Yeah, the other color. So we need the other color. Is that another? Oh, here.
Yep,
this one. Okay. So we need this one here. So what I will do? Okay, here we go. So what I will do? I will put kind of. I'd like to have all those parameters here. This color, this here. All of those things to be kind of editable within FileMaker, like having like a preference. Oh, what you preference? You want that color, that color.
Yeah. So you want to set.
So, but you see, it's not very complicated to customize, right?
Yeah.
So, and it would be nice. It will flickers a little bit, but okay, who cares about the flickering? If you care about the flickering, then you have my hack stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
But so far, okay. Here, my opinion on this. This is an opinion. It's not a rule. It's not a law. This is an opinion. I don't want to replace FileMaker with Java, and we shouldn't with JavaScript, and we shouldn't as developer fuel the idea that we are going to accept that FileMaker to compensate the lack of built-in object to just say, oh, go Java, put a JavaScript object.
Yep.
That means in the next 10 years, FileMaker layout will be a JavaScript layout.
You could make the case that they're probably leaning that way. I mean, think about it, right? I mean, I think that if they could rebuild the interface and construct everything with JavaScript.
Yeah, but they have to strike through the name low code or no code from their denomination.
Yeah, it ain't low code, no code. It's code up the ass is what it is.
It's over.
It's everywhere. We're spewing code. Yeah.
Yeah, and if the people says, and I would be the guy arguing, say, okay, in that case, if I need to be a guru in JavaScript, okay, sorry, FileMaker, but I don't need to pay your tax, the FileMaker tax. I just go to JavaScript free, right?
Yeah.
So they have a, here they are in danger if they do radical change like this. Okay, they say, oh yeah, okay, no problem. So that's why they have this add-on stuff. But I don't look. I have no idea what that will go, where this will go. If we have to become JavaScript experts, okay, but you have to remove low code, no code.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, So
it's interesting. So we got a couple other questions. We're going to go to Ken Tooley's question. Then there's two other people that have posted questions. So I'm going to take care of Ken's real quick. If you want, I'm going to make your screen a little smaller, Nick. So I'm going to so with me waving my hands around here a little bit, or actually, Nick, do you have the email from him with the image on it? Can you bring that up on your screen?
That I was going to.
So here's the scenario. So it's kind of a very broad question. It's actually, to some ways, kind of a bunny kind of question. So we're sharing all this with you. If you want to do a Command plus, Nick, and zoom in on the conversation here, make it a little bit bigger for me on this text here. Just like keep going. Give a couple more. Zap, zap, zap. Yeah, make it bigger. Big, big, big. All right, so here's what Ken wants to do. Ken runs doesn't matter what it is, it's an event, and people show up to the event. It happens to be hot air balloons. It could be, aliens from Mars. It doesn't matter. And they get a badge. They have a badge. They're registered for the event. Ken goes, I don't know if I should have like different barcodes on their badge somehow. So as we zap them, we zap the barcode with their ID on it, and also within that barcode is the date. And I was like, well, if you have a client that's scanning, whether it's a Mac or Windows laptop with a barcode, or it's an FileMaker Go on a mobile device or whatever, if you know the current get function for get current date, you could do that. So you could scan the person and have the date, so you don't really need that. Well, but this is where it gets into it. This is his FileMaker file, okay? It's pilot, so this is a pilot. It's a contact table right here. And so this is a record. This is a way of looking at a database kind of in a list view or table view. These are records, right? And so if they attend day one, he wants it to show up like this over here. If they show up on day, so it's a 3-day event for now. Let's assume it's a 3-day event. This is what the graphic, he sent us this graphic. And some of you are going to be understanding the conversation here. It's more of a beginning bunny kind of Megan kind of question a little bit. And Ken's brain is much more advanced, but he kind of trapped himself into a corner a little bit. And so the conversation here is that if they show up on day one, this wants to be like this. And then if they're not there, it can be blank or it could be red or whatever. And he has this as one table. And I said, well, the technical correct way with a relational database is that you have a pilot table, then you have an attendance table over here. And then so if this is, say Nick is the balloon pilot and he shows up on day one, it creates a record over here. It has the ID of Nick and the date. So I'll just put just put date over here. And if he comes the second day, it gets his ID again, which will be the same, but it'll have a different date, right? And so then of course, so that's the correct way of doing it. And so then what happens is Ken goes, well, I want to display it like this. And I go, so basically the word pivot table comes into mind, but I don't think we have to get that sophisticated with it. But he wants to be able to see the related records sideways. And FileMaker does portals vertically. So how would you do this? Well, there's two things you can do. Two ways of doing this that come to my mind, but you can say get the nth record, right? So here's the thing. So Nick brought this up. First thing I thought of is that the question is, do you want to kind of hack this as a single table, or do you want to make it as two files with a relationship? The reason you might want to do the relationship is if you're going to recycle the solution, and some years there'll be 3 or 4 or 10 days or 20 days, or it'll always be exactly 3, and you totally know that, because here's the thing, if it's a related record, you can have unlimited numbers of related records, right? But, so anyway, so the issue cuts in that there's a function, and Nick can probably demonstrate this, it's called get nth record, right? It allows you could define a field for this, a field for this, a field for this, and you could either establish separate relationships, which might be the way to go, right? Like it's the ID of the guy plus maybe the date, and you could hard code the date, or you could put like a global field here, right, or a preference field or something where you put the date in here, right? And so then the system goes, take the ID of the pilot, concatenate that together with the date, and then you can get just the related record, right? You don't even have to do the get nth record. You would just say get that. So you'd have actually effectively 3 relationships, right? Yeah. But then you're still kind of, because you've got this pivot table going sideways, you have this issue where you have to kind of keep defining these relationships and things like that.
Yeah, but
go ahead,
yeah.
Nick.
It's an interesting fact here, because I'm doing the same thing for a customer of mine in Switzerland. So that's why I'm jumping, because it's exactly what I'm doing for. He wants to see, like, for example, 1 week of data, 1 week. So he has the patient list, like patient 1, patient 2. Let's say pilot 1, patient is patient 1, patient, a list of patients on the left. And he wants to see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the week, because it's a timetable for treatment. Okay, so pretty much exactly the same thing that Carlton is doing. So, so what you do here, let's say you want to see a week, you want to see a pan of week, 1 week span. Okay. So you say, okay, I am in the week. I am in the week number. For example, today. We have the way to know which week we are in, okay? With FileMaker, so we are in a week, you get the week, and then you say you get the beginning of the week and the end of the week, okay? So what you need in Ken's Tully example here, what you need here, you need 7 relationship or 5 relationship if you don't care about the Sunday and the weekend. So you have 7 relationship, right? 7 global fields that are populated from a date you put. Let's say I am in the week of the 19th, for example. Okay, so the week of the 19th start on Monday. Let's pull the calendar here. So the week of the 19th. Start on Monday 15 and ends on Sunday 21. So you populate 7 global field automatically and say, okay, from 15, 16, 17, 18, and then let's say this is a 15, 16, and then you have those 7 relationships are going to be related to the attendee or the patient or whatever. The record here you have, like you mentioned, Richard, you have the ID of the pilot and the date of the attended events.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and then you have a moving kind of information, because you still have only 7 relationship, only 7. It's not a big deal. You have 7 global fields that are populated by a date you enter. You can say, for example, by default, I did my friend's system. I did automatically at default, when you start the system, that date is today date. So I'm showing you all the time the week of today dates. That means from the 15 to the 21. Okay, that's the week of today dates. Okay. We are on Friday of the week from Monday to Sunday. Okay, so that one. But you are free to put in the past, to put in the future. You're free to do that, right?
Yeah.
You just have to change the date. And this is a good case scenario. And by the way, Ken or anybody, Bunny or whatever. I don't know. Do we have this Xref cross-reference kind of a session?
It's scheduled. Okay. It's scheduled.
Okay. So we will have, this is a good opportunity for me to create, to explain what cross-reference table is. Because this is what you need here. You need a cross-reference table. Let's say you have pilots. Okay, so you have a table with pilots, name, first name, date of birth. You have all the documentation of the pilot, the driving license or whatever, the flying license, all the thing you need. Okay. Insurances, all the thing. And then you have an event table, okay, where you have, I have an event that start from, start on Monday 15 and ends on Sunday 21st, okay? So you know what, you have you have two tables, two different records. You have plenty of records on one side and one record on the other side, the events.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And you want to put reference between those people, and the reference will be who is attended when. Okay.
Yep.
So the cross-reference table is meant for that, and I'm going to use that example. I was looking for an example, and you bring that up.
Well,
Ken,
okay,
so I'm going to use that.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because I don't see where the cross-reference comes in here. Because I think because Ken wants to do this, I don't think he wants to wait a month for that broadcast. So, but I don't understand. Yeah, I don't.
Cross-reference table. How you don't want? Okay, let's say you have one event. I want to go in one event. Yeah. I want to go in one event. On the event, I have the event of that day. It's a super flying curly. Ken Tully super flying. Okay, it's an event. It's time I have, and I want to know from this event record who is coming.
Yeah.
How you do that without a cross-reference table?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you would.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're doing this is broader than his example, because his example.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and Ken, maybe if you're online, you can concur. I think that you want that too. I mean, or maybe if you didn't want it, now you want it. You didn't know you wanted it, but now you want it. I mean, it's obviously because what I love to do in my development in FileMaker is. When you have something, you have something, you know something from the pilot perspective, but now you want to see from the event perspective, so you want to, you go to the event. Actually, this table here cannot come others from the events. You have in the event record, you say, okay, I have a pilot 1, pilot 8, this one is not coming, this one is coming, and you have dates. Okay. So you need cross-reference table here in any ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So real quick, so I think that takes care of Ken at this point. At AL92, it's a comment on the Twitch side. He says AL92-651 says, how about the pivot table video broadcast we did? If you want to see more about pivot tables, I'm going to cross-post this information in here for everyone. Calvin did that with us. It was interesting, where you take data and you kind of pivot it around a different way. So it's a little bit more sophisticated. I'm not sure Ken needs that per se, but it's a good video to watch. Okay, Nick, there's a question from Drew. I'm going to repopulate it at the bottom. He says, never got an answer. How would Nick handle the entry of multi-addresses in a separate address table in the UI demo? So I guess we go back to your UI demo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No problem. Yeah, I can do that. But for multiple address, I have one way to address that. Of course, you need a table. That is an obvious kind of fact. So you need a table, and that's why I like to present things the way I do here in one line. So to have an address. Here I did in 2 lines. So here you see the address is the display address is in 2 lines, but you can address this in 1 line. So do you want me to build it, or what do you want me to do, Richard?
Well, we have about 2 or 3 other questions. So whatever you can do in about 5 or 6 minutes.
Okay. Here what you do: you create a table, okay, and when you create an address, okay. You populate you say, okay, add an address. So you have a button say add address, okay, inside that poll, and then you have a CalStar window that pops and show you those records here, those fields, okay. So then you know what it is, you have a nice window, small window, CalStar window that shows you the field where you can enter values with a pop-up menu for the cities or the state, whatever, the auto entry stuff, so you can have this, okay. Then when you say okay, so you validate the record inside the poll, but in the poll you show the address as a one row, like you write an address in an email, right? Like this address in one row here. So let me see the address, the billing address display here. Let's take this one. I did that in 2 rows, but I can change that and put that in 1 row, which is like this. So this is I need to do this billing address, billing street 1. So here. Okay, so instead of being two lists like this, okay, I'm not doing this. I'm doing list 1 and list 2, and that's it. Okay, so now it's still 2. What list 2 city zip? Why is doing 2 lines? List 1 address 1, list 1 list 2. Substitute list city by. I don't understand why I have an still. I don't understand why I still have 2 garbage return here. List substitutes. Yeah. I don't know why. Okay, never mind. Let's remove this for the. Yeah. So it's even worse. So look. So what you need to do is to have 1 row. That to be 1 row. By the way. Oh, I can do something like this. Hold on. It's just a hack for now, but the billing address. So I can do this. Substitute billing address display, and I remove this and I replace by this. Okay. So now I have 1 row, but nothing. So now I have the address on 1 row. Okay. So the address is 1 row. So you understand that is an address. Okay. When you see that, you understand that is an address. So in the portal, you show this, and when you click on the row, you open the Carlton window that shows you the fields. Okay, that's how we handle this. Okay. Sorry if it was a little bit confused, but I want to show you the 1 row. You combine all the fields on the address in 1 row, and the portal here will see 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows. So you have all the addresses, and you can put you can say which one it is. You can say this is the billing address, this is the personal address. So you can have a label for each address, right? And then you build a portal like this. Very easy.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to move on because we have quite a few questions that have come in. So suddenly all the questions are here. So I want to spend a moment and thank Luca. If Luca's here, I'm not sure he made it today, but Luca did a great job of sending us a thank you note about the great training we're doing. And I wanted to thank him for his kind comments. So Luca has a question, real quick. In your personal opinion, Nick, how reliable supported are emoji characters between the various platforms, Pro, Go, Server, WebDirect? ?
Okay. The problem is this: between Macs and iOS's devices, no problem. With Windows, it's unknown. I have problem with emojis on the Windows platform. So, but if your platform, if you want to use emojis inside our iOS device, for example, you can go.
What about in a script title? Like you put script folders in script workspace. Of course, you wouldn't see that on WebDirect. You would never see that on Go or Word, because you don't do.
No, I mean using. I know what you mean. Using emojis here. That is only one piece, Mac OS and Windows. Okay, so that's all, because we don't have on WebDirect is not involved and iOS is not involved. Okay, so because we cannot see that on those platforms. But here I had problem with Windows as well. It's the same problem. So when you use emojis here on Windows, most of the time you get the text version of the emoji. You know what I mean? For each emoji, you have a text version of it.
Yep. Yep. So Amco has a question. AMANCO has a question. If you go to Discord, you want to look at it. It's up. Well, shoot, it's up a little bit.
Why you don't want which one? So the third question of the French person, which one do you prefer?
Because most of us don't give a shit about French people, right? So French people are just taking expensive real estate.
I like rosé one. Rosé one is the best for the French people, and sparkling, yeah, that's champagne, but it's rosé wine.
Okay. See, I was just trying to rile him up. It didn't even work. I tried to bait him in with the comment about the French. Didn't work. All right. So, all right. Luca's awesome. Thank you, Luca, for that. We do love French people here. I have a greater appreciation for him now that one of them works for me and he's as good as he is. I'm like, wow, okay. So we got that question. The next question was about Red Downtown. I don't even know if you're capable of answering that question. In Red Downtown master detail screen, if table 5, I mean, it's like very specific about training that's like from over a year ago, 2 years ago. So you want to
even more.
Well, people watch the video and they want to. The problem is that we have to go back and remember this stuff. So you want to try? You have the Red Downtown file open? You have
no, but I can.
Why don't you open it up and see what happens? So you can even. You've got 5 minutes. Whatever you can do in 5 minutes for Amco.
Okay, so here, table 5.
So he does it in master detail. If table 5 and 6 occurrences are from the same source table, why do you need to change the relationships? So if you go to relationships, 5 and 6 are the okay. So 5 and there's a bunch of 5s, but if 5 and 6 are
because this here. I use this is not this here is the record number, and this is to create. When I use the UUID creation is because I'm using this force create, what I don't know how they call that, the force create kind of a technique here, to create a record, related records here. But this file here, I built this file a long time ago. I was still using serial number here. See, so it's I built this in 2016, something like that.
Yeah, it's an older file. Right.
So
as brilliant as we are, we do forget sometimes what we did 4 years ago. Hey Nick, where were you 4 years ago on Wednesday at 2:00 on September 3rd? The answer is I don't know, right? So of course, right? So. I mean, we do try to do a good job, but there are limits. Nick is not a god to spot what everyone thinks.
Not only this, but this file has been created, as mostly to demonstrate objects and stuff like that, right? So, demonstrate this kind of things, demonstrate this kind of master detail. It was the beginning of master detail. It was it was very new. Everything was new there, so. I apologize if the way it has been built is a little bit cranky. It's because sometimes we start with something and then we modify and then modify and then modify and then we build ugliness.
Okay, so Amco's doing a clarification if you want to check Discord. He has a clarification or your question. So
okay, so one is to demonstrate. Okay, so the row number 5, I need to check that's a 4. So I need to check where the.
Okay, so he has a question there. If you.
This one, because it's a 2-level. It's a 2-level. It's a 2-level kind of relationship here.
Right.
So
he has a question because he says if you combine both tables 5 and 6 into one table, what do you need to fix here?
Why you want to combine this and this in one? This has been to make the case that you have 2 levels of relationship. See, 1 level. So you have 1 level here. See, so that demonstrates why you want to combine those.
If you combine them, then you would just end up. If you combine them, you would just drop this for the most part, and you'd have just this, right? So,
that's it. Yeah.
So
you remove
because here's the thing: at the end of the day, you're looking for this. You want to select one and see details. This is so you can get to even that, then gives you the related ones against that. Yeah, so it's I mean, yeah,
It's a two-level. You know, here you can create rows, 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 rows. You create this, and then here you can create more here, and then you can create a new one. Okay, you create a new one here, and then you add. So if for each record here, each record has a set of rows here, right?
Right.
So I wanted to show that how you do this.
Yeah.
Right?
So he has a question. In other words, how do you use a two-level master detail from a self table? Is what his question is here. I mean, he's basically taken the file and hacked it, but then he's got himself into a corner, I think. So,
yeah, how to use two-level master detail from a self table? It's hard to understand. So here, pretty much to explain how this works, I have a record here. You know, so in this table here, I'm in the context of table 1. Okay. Table 1 has record here related to table 5. Okay. Yep. The relationship between table 1 and table 5 is pretty much one to many. Okay. So yep. I mean, I have one ID of table 5, table 1 related to many. So you know what I mean? So here, for example, this table here, the ID of this table. The ID of this table is the ID 5. Okay, right. So this is the ID of the table. So if I go to table 5, okay, if I go to table 5 and I look for, I search for the ID 5. Yeah, ID 5 here. I have those 7 records.
Yeah.
See. So I have 7 records.
So it's a one-to-many from table 5 to table 6 is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I have 7 records here. See, 7 records. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 7 records here. Okay. So and then here I have table 6, which is related to 2 tables. It related to that table here, table 1 and table 5 together. But when I select this one, I want only this one showing. Okay. It's you know, it's a typical relationship, like a, you know, two-level relationship like this.
Okay, so he put a clarification here. He goes, I want to combine these two to make an encounter table, I guess. Someone's encountering something. And each encounter includes more encounters related to the main.
But why you want to combine both? Because in that case, if you combine both, you don't have the selection. Okay. Yeah. So that means you want to show all the main rows and all the secondary rows. Okay, you have 2 tables next to each other, and you show them, but you won't have the relationship between those 2, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
Well, I just, you know, I want. Listen, I'm trying to be responsive to people, and AMCO asked pretty good questions. I'm just trying to make.
AMCO, can you send? The face.
Well, why don't you make how can I make? Can I ask a question for AMCO? Can you send email to support, and put an actual diagram, not the FileMaker diagram. I'm talking like an ERD of what you're trying to do, like the main parent table, the child table, and any grandchildren that are part of that, and what you're trying to display, so we can get a better idea of that. That would be useful. All right, so I'm going to stop with that one for the moment until we get more data. Moving on, there's another question here. There was a question about the UI table. I think we're missing. There's questions here. TK. Okay, so Agent Chevy asked the question. Agent Chevy's doing a good job. I'm scrolling. I'm going to put it back at the bottom again here real quick. This is about your neomorphism file, Nick, if you want to take a look at this. On the neomorphism file, Nick's technique for adding context to an account uses a lookup. This means that if the contact record gets updated, it doesn't reflect on the portal. How do we tackle this? Question mark.
Yeah, okay, so this is a good question. And this might be something I'm going to explain during my PSOS kind of next week kind of explanation on Monday. Because when you have cross-reference tables, okay, so it's this is a cross-reference table. That means I can add the same contact to multiple accounts. Okay, so I changed the nature of our starting point. I changed it on purpose for my demonstration because I wanted to demonstrate this kind of technique here. So I needed to modify FM starting form for my demonstration. So I want the same contact to be able to be in multiple accounts, which is kind of possible in many cases. You can be the guy is the president of one company, and at the same time he's the accountant of another one, right? So when you have a cross-reference table, and I use lookup on the reference table, why? Because I don't want to display it. I try to avoid displaying on the surface, on the layout, record information data that comes from one level or two levels down in a relationship, because that's slow. That's it. It's that simple. When you have let's say you have a portal showing 1,000 records, and in the portal you're showing fields that comes from one or two or even sometimes three levels down, right? You are slow. You slow. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing up to the surface, to the cross-reference table. I bring back the information I need, and I use lookups like this. And sometimes I use also auto-entry calculation. Okay. So if you write on something, if you change the contact information in all my development, I don't have the contact here, but let's say I want the contact. I change something in the contact. In all my construction, I have an on-record commit trigger. I have one everywhere. But I have one smart one. I don't have one that goes everywhere and does 10 minutes of things and, export 2,000 records and send 200,000 curl requests on the net. No, I'm not doing this, okay? I'm staying quiet. I'm staying reasonable. So what this do? On commit. That means on commit is when you did a change, first of all. It's not because when you do this and you click outside, this is not on commit. Okay? You didn't change anything, So you need to do a change in order to have the commit coming. So when you commit the record, I have a very smart actually I can show you an example of one. When let's say you change something here, okay, you change something on the contacts, and let's say you have 2 or 3 cross-reference table, going to the 1, 2, 3 cross-reference table that brings information from the contact, okay, and you need to relookup. So you get the ID of this contact here, the UUID of this contact, you get it in a variable. And then you tell your PSOs to go to the server, go to those cross-reference table, look for that contact and relookup. Okay, look for all the records of this contact and relookup those records. That means pretty much what you have 10, 15, 20 records to relookup, and the server doesn't see anything. And when you do the on-commit record and you perform the script, you don't have to. So on commit, let me see. On record commit. On record commit. Okay, project, for example. So see, here I have a set field, very small, right? Very, very small, but on record commits, update estimate. See, it doesn't do anything very, very much, right? I'm staying very quiet on what my commits does. But I'm surprised that I don't have more on commit. Okay, so this we can remove this. So here, what I'm doing, I have an on commit record on the contact. See, on the contact records, and the on record commits update contacts. The trigger here. So what this do? Okay, is update contact records. So it's a PSOS, and as you can see here, I don't have the wait for completion. So I'm going to explain that tomorrow, Monday, what this means. Okay, but that means you perform record. You said okay, perform scripts, and then your clients is no longer connected to that event. the script will be launched on the server, and you completely over. It's done for you. When you do this, it's done. That means your clients sees absolutely no spinning wheels or whatever. There's nothing. It's over, and the server is taking over the thing. And here, what this does, actually this is broken, by the way. I don't know why it's still there, but anyway, you understand the thing, and I do a replace, replace. I don't know why this is broken, but maybe they're old and we need to remove. But you know the point. You got the point here. So you have an on-commit records, on-commits, but never know.
Someone's asking about a missing function when you have a chance, when you get done with that.
Yeah. So what I mean. So you have an on-commit, estimate, on-commit. So you do the on-commits stuff. I don't know why I don't have much more than this. Some development, I try to avoid that as much as possible. But in that case, I'm going to build a case on for Monday based on this. It's a good experience based on my UUID, my UI UX here. I'm going to use that example for the PSOS, by the way. That will be great. I'm going to change something on contact, and you will see the thing coming here like by magic. Okay. So I'm going to explain that on Monday. That will be part of Monday.
Okay, well, you got 3 days for next week, I think, Nick, right? So,
yeah.
Real quick, we got UI. There's a screenshot from Amco there. He's asking about the missing functions on your script. Kind of hard to read it, but it's script.
Is that the V2? Because if it's not the V2, which is 599? Yeah, no, 5. I don't see 593F. Okay, let me see.
Was Amco one of the guys who had the old file and was asking stuff about that?
Yeah, you can delete that.
Oh.
I might have copied this function missing. That means it's a custom function missing here. But I don't think I'm sure. I'm not sure I'm using that
script at all. Yeah.
So. If I use this, is there? Okay. If I use this, let me check. If I use this, it's here. Here. And no, this is the account list. No, if I use this, it's in there.
So I've got a very important disclaimer here with this. So we've had this conversation, but I keep repeating it. This sample file is not the basis for your solution. If people are using this sample file as a basis for your solution, you're going to have these problems. And then we get these random questions about, well, what about this random?
No,
These files.
Yeah. You can delete it. You can delete the script. It's junk.
These files are for inspirational purposes only. We will have a version of Starting Point, which will be largely bug-free, shall we say, as much as we can make it.
It was a piece of junk that I left there. Sorry for that. It can happen.
I think we mostly have run through the questions. I know that a lot of you wish Nick was just AL92651 has a question. If I paste objects from the UI UX file into Starting Point, do I need to save the object to the Starting Point theme?
No.
The Starting Point theme is there, but you don't have to use the theme. Once again, this goes back, and I don't know who here has our training or not, but we spend time in training talking about custom themes and shared styles, and we're running out of time here, so I got to kind of land the planes on final approach, right? If you're trying to optimize your solution for performance and you're at the intermediate level and you're still trying to optimize and get better, lean design is a good thing, but part of lean design is custom themes and shared styles, which you have you don't individually style each element on a layout individually. I cover that at great length in our paid video training. I'm not going to cover it now. Nick's not going to cover it next week. Some things we're not going to cover just because I already killed it really well in our paid video course. So custom themes, shared styles, look it up, but you can save at least half the overall bandwidth You could cut your bandwidth down by half and or double the performance of your FileMaker solution if you efficiently use custom themes and shared styles amongst similar objects on a layout, right? Very important. Peter Green's, how do you deploy a new version of an app and preserve data from the old version? Geens, Peter Geens. FileMaker training, cover the section on migration on data migration tool in our training, right? You guys are killing me with this, right? So most of these questions are covered in our training. Here's our FileMaker training. I open up the application right here. This is our paid training. Most of you have this, so the ones that don't probably should get it. When you open it, the new one might say 2021. We're in the process of just updating some minor branding on it. But what you're going to do is you're going to come over here and you're going to look at the data migration tool. And we cover this. We cover it end to end. We cover it in about 2 hours of content to explain what the data migration tool is, how it works, how you would use it to deploy a new version of a solution and not spend a week trying to run a series of imports. Import, line the fields up, import, line the fields up. So either you can spend a week trying to learn how to do it with the import dialog and some scripts, or you can use the FileMaker data migration tool. If I go to the FileMaker application over here, I come down here under section. It says, so this one doesn't have a subscription on it, but if you have our paid subscription, won't say these all work, right? Right now, if you hit them, it says, hey, buy the bundle. But you come down here to data migration right here. So in here, it talks about the data migration tool, DMT, right? And we did it. We talked about it at great length. It was designed in 17, updated in 18. There's some minor buggy kind of stuff they fixed with 19. But it's really cool. So to answer your question, Peter Geens, that's how you do it. In fact, I'd feel bad giving you the answer if I couldn't answer the question. But almost every question here, I've got a video on. So Peter Geens, that's for you. So watch those videos. If you don't have this training, I don't know what to tell you. You can get it as cheaply as $149 a year. If you already have FileMaker, you don't need a copy of FileMaker. You just want the training on an annual subscription, $149 US a year, and you get all this stuff. And then that way, when you ask a question, I say, go watch video 2420, 2422, 2424. You go, oh yeah, no problem. I have all that. And this stuff is already set up on the internet. It'll stream right to your computer. Cool.
Yeah, I saw there's some question on Discord about how I'm doing those rounded kind of
well, the one guy had a problem because the image, he had a really rectangular image and it wasn't cropping it. If you scroll way up, Nick.
Yeah, I see. But the problem is you need to have, Christian has Christian or Calvin, I don't remember. He has this crop tool in FileMaker.
That would be me. Thank you very much. I discovered that one from the Japanese developers. So it's a JavaScript where you crop it and you make it square, right? So once again, I'm going to remind I'm going to bring something up. This is your last hot tip. So who is this for? David Angel.
Kevin showed me that.
David, yeah. Well, I'm going to show you the practical application of this thing. So let me go over here real quick to the value calculator. This was created for a customer. So this is where it comes in. So the admin tool. So notice how all these are over here. All these images are uniform and they look beautiful, each one, right? Why does it look that way? In real life, everyone takes their camera and they take pictures in all different sort of ways. Everything's a mess. And so the actual original image is here, but we want, in this case, a 2-to-1 ratio. And so we program in the script for that cropper that we've talked about, type JS crop in your search in our training, and you'll see it pop up. But we force it to give us a 2-to-1, or you could do a 1-to-1, which would give you a perfectly square image, and then you use Nick's technique to round the edges. We have a video that talks about that, right? So in this case, this company is pricing helicopters, and I was talking to them and they were pricing this and that, and I said, hey, check this out and do this and do that. And so the images come in, that's what the image comes in as, but then we crop it, right? And then it shows up over here. Like I say, I want to pick a picture of, like here's a picture of my face, right? And this is a picture of a helicopter. Here it is. This is a really horrible picture of me. And you come over here and you go, hey, I want a new record. And I'm going to put this in over here. And like, that's really great. So I'm going to put this over here. I drop it in here. Okay. It's going to load it into the system. The system runs a script trigger. It says, here's the picture. This is the ratio. We want the ratio to look really good. And notice I could unlock it from the ratio, but I'm not. And so this is the image. So we have to pick the part. Maybe we really like my lips. I have sexy lips. Wow, those lips are awesome. So then I just go, oh, there you go, save it. Doot, doot. And what it does, it crops the lips and then puts the lips in here. See, FileMaker can do awesome stuff. FileMaker is awesome, right? So there you go. Okay, well, there you go. So everyone, thank you. We'll catch you next week. I appreciate it as always.
Okay, bye-bye.
Just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected the quarterback. Great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Trying to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap. Stands in, throws it left for Amendola. Reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10. Rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.